Basically, so the async function, what it will do is, it will wait for the network request to complete, and they will know, so defined using async function keyword, right? Then use the await keyword to pause the execution until a promise is resolved by this async. So async is going to return a promise, and once that is statement execution completes, the promise will return. Okay, so this statement is completed, then you can resume the next statement. Await, wherever you are writing, the await keyword will pause the execution, otherwise it will continue execution. In the asynchronous, it doesn't wait. So, and that's the main concept, this async and await. So in order to handle that kind of so the parallel execution, right? Parallel execution, asynchronous execution. So this async and await keywords plays a major role. So that is the crucial. So if you see that, for example, so you get data you are writing, right? So this get data with await we are writing. So function get data. See, we are writing this. This is the function, the promise it is resolving, and we'll get the data. In the set timeout function inside, we are using that this resolve variable and data loaded. This many seconds it will wait, and it completes the promise. Then you are calling this function here, await, so get data. So this will this will await until this promise is resolved. So once that promise is resolved, then it will process the data loading. So once it has to fetch the data, right? So that it has to get the data. So once it fetches the data, then it will load. So that async functions are very, very powerful tool for working with asynchronous codes. So the async and await both combinedly you have to use that. If you're not using combinedly, and code will no, it doesn't work out properly.
Ramesh, but in function get data, don't we need to mention that async since we are using await?
No, so here we have written already. So async already we have written here, right?
Fetch data
So,
we return.
yeah. No, that is the, so here we have written. We can write here also async.
Yeah,
So we
here
have to
also
write.
okay.
Yeah. So here we have to write async. So otherwise here we mentioned async. So it will wait for this. So promise to return, and then this function will execute.
So in a single function, we need to have both async and await.
Yeah, await, async and await. So here also we should have async.
Okay.
There is a small mistake here. So async we should write here also. Async function you have to write for this. This will, async means this promise will be written by this method, right? This completes, then this load function will load it. So until that, without fetching data, it cannot load, right? So that request has to be completed. The request is returning here. The promise is returning here, and then you can. So this await will wait for that promise to return to this function, and then it will load. So that is the async and await combinedly they are going to work. So that is the main concept. So I'll explain in diagram. So in detail, once we have again async and await topic separately. So that time I'll go through once again that concept in detail. I'll show you that how they will work and how this asynchronous programming concept works. Okay. So then we have so function concepts like first class functions, higher order functions, callback functions, pure versus impure functions, recursive functions, closures in JavaScript. First class functions means it's kind of first class citizens. This means functions can be assigned to a variables. It can be passed as an arguments to other functions. So right function, one function you can pass in another function as an argument. So it can be returned from other functions. That's a thing you can see here. One simple example. Function is a parameterized. So return is template letters you can use, and you're returning the name. So to greet. So you're assigned to a variable, then you can pass that. So that this function process greeting, function name, and name is console.log function name. So this directly can call here. So the greet. So this is the function name is a greet. I'm passing this greet function here. And then what is the name here? So then you will get hello Alice. So that's the, so while calling this function, so I'm calling the as an argument for the other functions. Even from return from another function also, you can do that. Multiplier, factor, return function number, return number multiplied by factor. So you can see multiplier 2, you can see double 5. You will get that 10. So this is the one important one. Higher order functions. Higher order function is a function that takes another function as an argument, returns as a function, or both it will return. So every higher order function uses a first class functions, but not all first class functions are higher order. So if you see here, function multiplied by factor, and you're returning a function with another function you're writing here inside that. So return function and again return. So this function is returning again. So once first this function returns and that again returning by this function. So inner functions. So this is how you can call one by one. Next most important one is a callback functions. Callback function is paused into another function as an argument and executed later. So mainly this is used in the set timeout. You want to the set timeout is a common default function of JavaScript. So you want to set the timeout for a particular process to be completed. Then you can use this set timeout. Okay, so fetch data. So in the fetch data, you're calling a function, and so what data you want to pass it, and then the data processed received will be returned to callback. So it's a heavily in asynchronous programming language use this callback functions. It's a kind of, so deeply returns the promises and async and await concepts. So which resolves our promises and then go for the next statements execution. There are some pure and impure functions. So when you give same inputs, always returns the same output. So that's the pure functions. No side effects with these functions. And impure functions has side effects, modifying the global variables and also return different outputs for the same inputs. So that is the impure function. But we will see all this. Out of all this, we need mostly arrow functions, return type, asynchronous, basically async and await uses. For us, these four are very important. And other than that, others you don't need to worry about that. So mostly we'll use async and await, then return type functions, anonymous and assigning anonymous function to a variable, and that variable you will call that. So recursive functions. So recursive function, we know recursive means a function name itself calls itself until it reaches the base condition, right? So you will call the function name inside the body. So that is you can see here factorial. The function name we are calling inside the body logic. So that's the recursion. Yeah. So those are the things very important for us. Let's write the functions so then we can understand one by one. But these are all not that much important. So, but I included so many things, but not required everything for us. These are all not required. Forget about this, all this. Yeah. Okay. So let's go and start writing the code so that we can get familiarity with all these functions one by one. So create a simple class functions demo. Functions. So first we'll start with a simple function creation, right? So you can start with a function keyword, right? First function with name. So function declaration is function and with the name. So this is the function name, and you can give, so you can just print that console.log hello and then this parameter. So how to call this? Just greet. So greet, you can call. So this is how you can calling the greet function with this parameter. Just execute this. See, hello, John is executed. This code is executing automatically. So this is how to call the functions. So in Java, we have to have a class and then class inside main method, and main method inside you have to call the functions, right? But here you don't need that. So simply you write your own function in one JS file, and you can write whatever the statements you want to execute it. And the second one, so function expressions. So function expressions is basically, there is no name for that, but you can assign to a variable, right? Can't say add a function show AB return A plus B. So then, and you can call this add. Add is the variable, right? That add you can call console.log add 5 comma 3 if you give, it will provide the output. So that is the second one, function expressions. So this is the function declaration with the function keyword and a name. And this is a, so anonymous function, you are giving in assigning to a variable. So basically you're assigning to a variable, that variable is your function name, and then pass these parameters. So what are the type? If it is a string, you can give a string value like this. So if it is a integers, you can give integer values. Right, let's execute this. A8, we got it. Next, arrow functions. So arrow function, again you can assign, so this see this parameter, right? You are removing this keyword and putting that in the same parameters you are taking, then arrow function, so curly bracket, and you can write your logic inside the curly bracket. So returns the product of x and y, and you are assigning to this multiply variable, and multiply is the your function name when you are calling. So just call, so multiply this x and y values you are assigning. So x value 4, y value 6. So it's a multiplication, right? So you will get a 24. And then immediately invoked function. So this is the immediately invoked function. But for us, these are the things. Arrow function one is important. This anonymous function and the function declaration like this. With a name, or generally we'll give a name, right? So in the web pages, the actions, right? All the web element actions, you will write, so validate particular text, or type a text, or click on this element. So you will give a name generally. So without name, there is no function will write in our automation code. So let's execute this. See, this is executed automatically. So once this, so you have completed the definition and you're invoking here the function. That's called, so immediately invoked function expression. Function with the default parameters. See, function with the name. So we are just giving a 10. So 10 divided by 1 is 10. Like that. So we're writing some logics here. Find the sum of so any numbers that you are giving, that many numbers sum it will find out. So this is the logic, right? Simple logic. Function sum is the function name. So numbers, and initially you are declaring as a total as 0 for let num of numbers, all the numbers, total plus equal to num, adding each number to total and returning the total, right? So basically it's finding the natural numbers sum. So it will find out all these 5 numbers sum. So that's the how many numbers you want. You can just give the parameter like that.
Using that spread operator, I mean dot dot dot.
Mm-hmm.
Right, sir. We can give any number of.
Yeah, you can give how many, what are the numbers you want to add. So all this one by one it will take from this everything. First one will come, one will add to the total, then the total value will change, right? Next time 0 plus 1 first term. So because the number is 1 and 0 plus 1, 1, total is 1. Again it will go up, num value will become 2. So here already total value is 1. So 1 plus 2, it will become 3. So total value become 3. And again, so num value is 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6 now total. So like that all it will add one by one. 6 plus 4, 10, next iteration, and 10 plus 5, 15. So it will add one by one automatically, and so for each kind of loop, right? It will loop all the elements.
Hey, Ramesh,
Mm.
for that IIFE, can you go back again? Top.
This one.
When I am executing, I'm getting error for this one.
So first you have to start the bracket and function name, function keyword, and the parenthesis. So is that the one you did, or you made anything? What is the error?
No, it's saying type error.
Type error. So can you share your screen? We'll see.
1 minute.
Just check whether you have given similar. You come end this bracket. This bracket is ending here, and this first curly bracket should end. Then this outer bracket. Then you are calling this function.
Yeah,
So,
let me share.
okay. Let me stop it.
You're seeing my screen?
Yeah, I can see that.
This one, right?
Yeah. Console.log curly bracket. So what is not a function.
Let me save it once again.
One minute. Function FUNCTA1. There is no spelling mistake, right?
Yeah.
Curly bracket. That's correct only. Parenthesis, curly bracket. First you close the curly bracket, then end bracket. Yeah. No
Semicolon.
issue. No issue in that. I don't see any issue there.
Yeah, that's right.
Strange. Anything above? No. So top you called one more console.log. Okay, multiply. That is fine, right? Okay.
No, up to here it is printing. You see, the
Till
issue.
okay,
Yeah.
multiplication also
Multiplication.
printing.
Yeah. Yeah, multiplication it is printing. Only this function it is returning error.
The line, 1 minute.
Line 19 it is getting.
1 minute. Just mouse over on that.
Yeah, let me add local.
Mhm.
What about others? They're able to exit?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Others able to execute, huh?
Yes.
You might delete that 3 lines and again write it down. It might be.
So just clear it. Yeah. First execute Chaitanya. Yeah, first execute it.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you start writing.
Function. Okay.
Parenthesis. No space.
Okay.
Parenthesis. Put a parenthesis. After parenthesis, write the curly bracket. After parenthesis.
Okay.
Yeah. So enter inside.
Mm-hmm.
So write console.log. Yeah. So inside you write some statement.
Okay.
Put semicolon there. Yeah. Yeah. Try it out now.
Okay. We'll see. Let's proceed further. We'll see.
Stranger. Can you
Yeah.
give that to ChatGPT, Satya, Chaitanya? No, not. Yeah, that one and this error both you give.
Yeah, we'll try it out. I'll meanwhile let's continue. I'll try. Okay.
Type error.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing is wrong there.
Yeah, that's what something.
Function.
Yeah, we'll see. But let's continue.
1 minute. Object anonymous. Can you save it? Automatic save you put, right?
Yeah, auto save, and also I did save just now. Not sure.
Line number 19 it is saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely there is no issue there.
Yeah.
Let's give that. Code you paste this.
But actually, in the code, you to open that window, code window, I think one semicolon is missing. That's what.
Sorry, you're breaking, Siri.
Previous one for multiplication is there, na? In
So the
semicolon
top
is
one, 17th line, you give a semicolon.
missing.
17th line. 17th line. 17th line. Yeah. Yeah. Can you try now?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what the.
So all the
So
console should be ended with semicolon, or
generally, JavaScript, we don't need that.
yeah, that's what.
But this one is considering. Generally, semicolon is not mandatory in the JavaScript. So Java, you need that.
Right, right.
But here we don't need to provide that. But it is considering. I'm surprising.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
12th line also not mentioned semicolon, but it is execute.
Sorry,
hmm.
sorry.
12th line also not mentioned semicolon.
Yeah.
Here is the problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, so everybody clear till this point? All the functions and function with the callback. So is this program you are also getting? When I just put this, we're getting this. Are you getting this entire program like this? Or
No,
how?
I'm not getting.
Oh, still, I think you're not getting, Chaitanya, these
No,
suggestions?
no suggestions. I am not getting. Added that MS IntelliCode, right? That
GitHub VS Code IntelliCode
sorry, what is
Copilot.
it?
Copilot.
It's a Microsoft IntelliCode, right? Or
GitHub Copilot.
GitHub Copilot, right? Okay.
Mm. But
Okay.
you need to log in. You need to log in with your GitHub account.
Oh, okay.
Then it will help you.
Okay, okay.
So others, Surya and Shantakumar, you are getting, right? Suggestions.
Yeah, I'm getting Ramesh. I think
Okay.
GitHub login should be there because that's where MSDN, the code and everything was
Mm.
taking from GitHub and it was populating into.
Right, right. Okay. So here, if you observe here, so the array we are giving and a callback function to process array with a callback function here, and so let I equal 0, I less than array dot length I plus plus. So callback of array of I, so you are assigning to array of I. So everything you are applying the callback function to each element of this I and then returning that array. So whatever the array you're giving. So it returns the processed array, not the original array that you have given. So processed array will be returned to us. So then call this. See, we are giving a number array, right? Array of numbers. So it will process the array, numbers array, and function. So the number each. So the callback function name we are giving, the function name we are writing, the callback function name, function num. So, and you write your function logic inside that, return num into num. So return the square of each number. basically. Mm. So then you call this squared array. So this will square all these numbers and return that squared array for us. So this is the process array with array name and this callback function. The function inside we are writing our own logic. So this is the one. So then here a bracket and then this curly bracket. So inner bracket first will close, right? That is the curly bracket. Then this outer bracket. That is the one. So let's execute this. See, we got this processed array. Yeah, so this function closures. So one function inside we have seen already in the theoretical wise. So the return keyword inside we can write one more function to return the output. So you are incrementing, you can see here outer function. So again we have given a name, proper name for that. Then inside that you can return the output here. So the incremented value you can return to this function. So then that will change this value. So it will keep rotating. So then just call this function outer function. Say counter equal to 1. So you can call this variable. You're assigning this to one variable and you're just calling that. Just one time it will increment, right? 0 plus 1, 1. So 1 will be returned to us. So one more time if you call.